Welcome to Men of the Times. On this episode, we are doing a review and recap of the Premier League and Champions League season. That's right, we're talking about football, or as we like to say in America, soccer. And it's pretty exciting. A lot of things happen, and we're excited to talk about it. Football. There you see, all the bits call it football. Football. Hey. We're talking about it. Well, it was a very interesting season, wasn't it, T?
We lost our treble.
Yeah, only the Manchester teams have ever done a
No,
treble.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to accept that. I'm not going to accept this treble by Manchester City. It's just not going to happen. Okay, we did our treble. Okay. You want to know?
It did happen.
Yeah, but I'm not going to accept it. There's always going to be an asterisk next to this treble for me. Okay, you want to know the difference?
Is it like
Do you want to know? No. You want to? You know what? You want to know the difference? You want to know the difference, viewers? You want to know the difference? When we did the treble in 1999, when I was 12 years old,
Manchester United,
the greatest football club that there has ever been. No one else compares.
Oh my God.
Okay, you want to know the difference? You want to know the difference? All right. When we did the treble, right? We did it with a core of English young players who came up together through the Manchester United youth system. A core of a team built around the Neville brothers, Nicky Butt, David Beckham, Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs. We didn't pay a penny for those players. We built them together. They grew up with us, and it was a natural culmination of all the efforts that Sir Alex Ferguson had built in since he took over that club in 1986 and realized that we had to get back to the ways of the Busby Babes. All right? This lot down the road were nothing. They were nothing until this Abu Dhabi royal family took them over, pummeled billions of oil money into them, and now all of a sudden they win the treble and they want to be on the top table with the good old traditional clubs of England like us, Liverpool, I had to admit it, Arsenal. They want to be at the top. Like, no, fuck off. City, no. You did not earn this treble. I'm not going to accept it.
Right. Well, there's living in La La Land, and then there's living in reality, and you've chosen to live in your
No.
Land.
I'm not living in La La Land, right? I'm living in the land of respect. I'm living in the land of tradition, right? This lot thinks they can buy a treble and be considered to be in the same league as us. Nah, not happening. Not happening. I'd like to ask a lot of City fans around the world, right? Right? Do you know who Nicky Weaver is? Do you know who Sean Goater is? Do you even know who Mickey Summerby is?
I don't know who any of those people are. But I'm also not a City fan. So.
That's my point. It's just like a lot of Nicky Weaver, Sean Goater, Paul Dickoff. Those are the players that City team was. Yes, that was his actual name. His actual name is Paul Dickoff.
Paul Dickoff and Nicky Butt really went at it. Dick off my butt!
Paul Dickoff, right? Scottish, nasty little player, nasty little bastard, but he was good. He was good in the lower leagues. They were playing in a League One playoff final the year we won the treble, right? That's the level they were at. Mickey Summerby was the captain of their 1968 Division One back then Premier League Championship season, right? That year, guess what happened that year?
Don't know.
City won the league. Guess who became the first English team to win the European Cup?
Don't know.
Champions League today. Us. Manchester United. So they've always been below us. They've always been that little bit below us. And now they want to come in and say, nah, fuck off, City. I'm not accepting it. You can take your Oasis and you can fuck off.
Well, tell us how you really feel, T.
I'm not accepting it. I'm just not accepting this. I am not accepting City winning the treble and then thinking that they can be at the top tier of English football. You have no tradition, all right? All of you fans out there, like I said, all the City fans from around the world, if you can tell me who Paul Dickoff, Nicky Weaver, Sean Gower, and Mickey Summerby were, then maybe I'll have some respect for you. But this, no.
Right. Well, they did win a treble, so that's something that is.
It's an asterisk. There's an asterisk next to this treble. It's not a real treble.
There's no asterisk. It's like what you want to do is you want to say it just like was in American baseball when Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa and Barry Bonds were all going for the home run record, and then they were like, "Oh, everybody's fucking juicing." And it's like, "Oh, that's why they're hitting 80 home runs."
Yes,
they're just on steroids.
Yes, that is a great comparison because this was building a football club on steroids. What happened with City in the Abu Dhabi group? Okay. I'm sorry. Everyone's forgetting. Everyone is forgetting, right? They're still under investigation for violation of over 100 violations of UEFA fair play, financial fair play. They're still under investigation for this. So, and everyone knows what's going to happen. Everyone knows. No one is going to chase them.
I don't know. I think UEFA is done, but the British Premier League is actually now investigating.
Yes.
Which they're all claiming, "Oh, it was started by an Arsenal guy, so we have to be careful about that." I think of anybody, Arsenal people are the people to definitely trust. We don't do anything shady or shisty at all. I know people would probably argue, "Oh, you haven't done anything shisty? Come on, you Arsenal wanker, get on it."
I'm sure there's plenty of Spurs fans who disagree with you on that one.
Nobody cares what Spurs people think. Spurs. What is a Spur? Who cares what they think?
Tottenham Hotspur, the perennial club of shit.
They're the Detroit Lions.
Oh yes, that is a great.
They never win anything.
That is a great comparison.
Sometimes they have a season where you're like, "Oh, this could be the year," and then they fuck it up.
How are you managed by Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte, and you're still shit? That is the definition of Spursy.
It's so funny how there was at the beginning of the season, Thomas Tuchel and Antonio Conte got into that fight.
Yes, yeah.
Neither one of them lasted.
This season?
Yeah.
That was the season?
That was the
wow!
season! Yeah, dude.
Oh, God, man.
Yeah.
Shit, so much has happened.
Neither one of them survived.
In
fact, Chelsea got rid of 2 managers in one season.
Yeah, they did. Honestly, I will never understand this. What the fuck did Chelsea think was going to happen when they got rid of Thomas Tuchel? Did they really think they could get any better?
Well, he didn't do any better when he went to Bayern this season.
Well,
so
he just
that was also a mistake from their part.
He just about managed to win the Bundesliga. But if you're Bayern, you're expected to win the Bundesliga year in, year out.
That's not much.
You know, come on.
BS league.
And that was more because Borussia Dortmund blew it on the last day.
Talk about bottling.
Yeah. Well, as an Arsenal fan, you know plenty about that.
We know a lot about the bottling.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Luckily, I'm drinking beer out of a can right now, so I don't have to worry about
for your salty tears.
I don't have to drink about bottles. Yeah, talking about that, I know you're very salty about this. Well, in all fairness, buddy, your team failed to prevent the treble from happening. It was a Manchester derby for the first time ever in an FA Cup, and I mean, fairness, you guys had no chance.
Yes, I mean,
the first minute.
Yeah, I know. Listen,
first 15 seconds.
Listen. I think.
Here we go.
No.
Listen. It wasn't our fault. They rigged it.
No, it wasn't about that. I mean, listen, we were. Yes, I know we were outclassed on the day, and I'm sorry, but how the fuck do you give Erdogan that much space at the edge of the area? How?
I mean,
no one thought to close him down.
I mean, it was a freak play. The ball went right to him, and he had an amazing one-time volley. There's nothing really. Yeah, but nobody could have done anything.
Twice, when you make the same mistake twice in the same game.
Well, that's because your team is shite. I don't know.
No, we're not. What the fuck are you talking about? We're back on the way up, mate.
Dude, your manager.
Listen, no.
Eric Ten Hag said you are the only team that can compete with Manchester City. Is he delusional?
No, he's not. He's not.
He's very
He's not.
delusional.
And
Yeah.
and listen,
he's
I
delusional.
after everything I just said, it does look like the Qatari royal family is going to be buying us out very soon. So.
Right, exactly. So you can
my
take
morals have all of
everything-
a sudden gone out the window.
Yeah.
Like, no, I know,
Jog on.
mate. But no, I mean, honestly, I will ask it as a serious question for Arsenal fans such as yourself. Like, do you honestly think that this, frankly, you blew a golden opportunity this year, and I'll be honest, I don't think you're going to get it again for a while.
Nah, I think we'll be okay next season.
Okay, why?
Well, number one, the team and core that they have are all very, very young. They're gonna have another season in Arteta's system. They're looking to bring on even younger players, so the likes of Xhaka and Partey, the older the older guys, the ladies, the older gents are gonna leave. They're gonna bring in even more class players. I'm sorry to say it. Tottenham is a sinking ship that's on fire, that's about to explode. I mean, they brought in the manager of Celtic.
And not only that, they
nobody wants to manage that team. Everybody wants to leave that team.
They brought in someone from the leftovers from the cast of Neighbours.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, once Harry Kane leaves, that team is gonna be dog shit for the rest of.
I think he's gonna.
They're not
gonna
be
one more season.
Nah, I think he'll. Well, maybe, but then he's gonna book. He should leave right now, though. He should.
Well, I know,
more
but
like
Daniel
if
Levy
Daniel Levy, right?
Yeah.
Well, and you know why? Because he knows his team will be terrible unless he stays, unless Harry Kane stays. So that might be the only reason. But even then, they're going to be dog shit. They're not going to be any good. Chelsea is in a complete rebuild mode. They're not going to be good for at least half a season. So they're not going to be really.
What difference do you think
competing for anything.
Pochettino is going to make?
I think he will be good, but I don't think they're going to be good in 6 months.
No.
They have to do all the house cleaning. Then he's going to have to get his players. He's going to get them into the system. He's going to have to do a rebuild like Arteta. Maybe they can win a cup or something. But I wouldn't see them really competing for top four.
No.
Yeah, top 6. Maybe they'll be there at some point, but I don't think they will be top 4. So I'm not really worried about them. Liverpool, I also don't think is going to be. I'm not really too concerned. What I'm seeing of the moves that they're doing are meh.
Well, they got McAllister from Brighton, didn't they?
Yeah, they got McAllister, but he's not going to instantaneously make them a lot better. Although he does fulfill a need of a creative playmaker that they have not had this season. So maybe a little bit better, but I mean, in all fairness, they're not like they were a few years ago. Klopp is on his typical decline from where he was in the last couple clubs.
Well, he managed to make out his 7th season, didn't he? And they still managed to finish 5th.
They still are going to be playing.
Which in
European
December
ball.
I
don't see the moves and the players they have being as competitive as they once were. I think they will be contending for top 4, but for the title, I don't know. You lot are, unless you might get Madison, you might get Mount. Those would be good additions, I think, for you guys. Get rid of, you can keep Christian Eriksen, but Mount and, you guys need a striker.
We do.
If you don't get a striker, if you don't get any striker, you guys will still suck. I hate to break it to you.
No, what do you mean suck? We managed to make it into the top 4.
Bro,
no,
you
fuck
barely
off.
made 50 goals.
Yeah, okay, but we still managed to make it in top 4, which shows
how I have no idea.
Which shows that we now have a world-class manager. Okay, but
you do have a much better manager. But competing for a title next season?
No, I don't see it.
Top 4.
Top 4, definitely. But I think that for everything for Manchester United right now hinges on the takeover and how long it's going to take for us to finally get these fucking parasites, the Glazer family, out of our club. This takeover has dragged on for far too long. And they're in a trade.
Yeah, once you become owned by a bunch of billionaires, of course it's going to get better. But we're talking about this season, and we're talking about next season. Let me just finish up by saying the only other team that I see really competing with City again is really Arsenal. We were the only ones that were able
What
to
about
do it.
Newcastle?
We're going to get better.
You're forgetting Newcastle.
Oh, Newcastle.
You're forgetting Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Did you
top
see who
four,
they
but I don't think they're going to be.
Did
Dude, City and Arsenal thoroughly dismantled Newcastle. Particularly in the second game, we went to Newcastle and made them look like a bunch of babies in their own house. And when they played Arsenal at the Emirates, they parked the bus and basically held on for dear life. And in all fairness, we just didn't put the ball in the net. And we had I don't know how many bloody chances. We should have won that game, but it just didn't go in that day. So credit to Newcastle that day. But once we played them at their house, we made them look like a bunch of babies. They didn't. They literally were running around. They looked like a bunch of headless chickens in their own house.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, dude. And we're talking about a team where most of the players are still under the age of 25. And all the players they're bringing in are also still under the age of 25. And you've got the most exciting, youngest team that competed with City, with the youngest team. I mean, bro, they're only going to get better in Arteta's system next season with even younger and better players.
Who do Arsenal have in their sights right now for new signings that would make the bet?
Declan Rice is the big one. They just signed Kai Havertz, so he'll be announced very soon.
They did?
Yes.
How much did he cost?
60.
From
60
Chelsea.
mil. Yeah.
Why do you think Chelsea are allowing their players to go to Arsenal? Because you got Jorginho as well.
And he was a great signing, honestly. He was fantastic.
He was. He nearly got his experience
really
nearly
well.
got you over. Nearly got you over the line.
He scored that one brilliant screamer at Aston Villa that got us that game.
Yeah.
See, and you just see the progression in Arsenal because of the young team this season. That I think is why we're going to be there. Now, let me say, do I think we'll win it next season? But I do think the squad Arsenal are putting together today will win a Premier League.
Do you win it with Declan Rice?
I think so. Because here's the thing: Kai Havertz, Declan Rice, and then they're gonna sign Timber, and we just agreed personal terms.
Oh fuck! Are you actually getting Timber?
Yeah, and we also agreed personal terms with Lavia from Southampton, who was a City prospect or was a City guy.
Timber, he was. Yeah, he was supposed from Ajax. He was supposed to go to us last season, and Louis van Gaal told him not to go to United.
Right. Well, now he's coming to us. We already agreed personal terms.
Oh, fuck off! Seriously?
30 mil or 40 mil.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's all over, man. I see reports of it all the time. And Arteta, dude, we're gonna have to. Dude, I cannot describe to you how excited I am to watch Arsenal again next season. They're only going to get better. They've only gotten. Look, you look at what happened in the season prior to this season. We missed out on Champions League. The hunger and desire was built in to the young players. Now they almost won the title. They just lost. They just bottled, just like they did the previous season, getting the Champions League, bottled winning the league. That type of stuff with really, really young players only builds character. They now know what it takes to win. They didn't win it. They should have won. I agree with you. They should have won this season. But I'm also... I mean, as much as it sucks, right? Because I don't want City to win a treble either. But, as much as it sucks, I just am now very excited. I could potentially see this Arsenal team with the youngsters they have and what they're doing with I think they have the right management, the right manager. No oil money. And they stayed with the oil money all the way really till the end. And you know what? We talked about this before. Arsenal lost the season. City didn't win it, okay? We literally lost it.
Where did you lose it?
The actual factual time we lost it, and then the real time that we lost it. I'll tell you the exact moment we lost. Zinchenko against Liverpool, Alexander-Arnold putting the ball through his legs and scoring that second goal.
Yeah.
At Liverpool. If we win at Anfield, I guarantee you. And then we go win at West Ham. We do not fold against Southampton like we did. I mean, we literally couldn't. We only got 2 points off of Southampton the entire season. The worst team in the league. We got 2 points.
Seriously?
We tied them both. Yeah,
that's the team that finished bottom.
Even if we had 4 more, even if we had beaten them twice as we should have, that's 4 more additional points. We would have been able to maybe the boys would have still had some stuff. But once I tell you, there's 3 moments. That Zinchenko second goal tying at Anfield, that one. Then, really, the last moment was when we tied Southampton but didn't beat them in the last minutes.
Yeah.
You saw how all the young Arsenal players, they looked like they had lost a final.
Yeah.
because they knew the next game was City, and they probably didn't believe that we would be able to
Which
compete.
game was that?
The Southampton game.
Yeah.
Then the next game was the City game,
Oh,
and then they knew that you're not gonna, even if we would have had to won, and City treated that like a final,
they did.
like they did against you guys in the FA Cup, like they did in the Champions League final. They treated it like a final, and they dismantled us, and we didn't have the necessary gravitas to keep up with what City's able to do once
No.
they get to that level. We don't have that. But they learn. They're gonna learn. They learn that day. They learn that day what it's supposed to take. But we still have like the likes. I don't dislike
Yeah, but
Eddie Nketiah. We have an Eddie Nketiah. We don't have the firepower to really come on to make a major difference.
But the thing
as
is,
well. I think we will with the signings they're making.
We always say that, but when City get to like February onwards, they just click into a whole different game. I listen. Billionaire money can get you so much, but the difference of City.
Well, they also have Pep, who's arguably...
Yeah, but it's not just Pep, it's the entire infrastructure that they built specifically for the personality and the man of Pep Guardiola. That's why he hasn't left yet. Like, even Barcelona...
Well, he will be now. He finished his mission.
Well, I think give him 2 or 3 more years, I think
No, he's done.
He's not leaving City.
No, he said he's leaving.
Not now.
Yes, no, he said not this next season, but then he's out. He's running his term and he's out.
Yeah, I know. But this is the longest club he's ever stayed at, right? So the Barcelona...
But it's the Premier League.
No.
He won in Spain, and he won in Germany with Bayern and Barcelona. Like, give me a break.
No, the Man City... Okay, the entire infrastructure of Manchester City, ever since the royal family of Abu Dhabi bought them in 2008, they built an entire infrastructure that was centered really around the personality of Pep Guardiola. They brought in Jajiki Begiristain as their sporting director, right? They snatched him from Barcelona. So they built the entire infrastructure around Pep. They always wanted Pep, which is why every manager that preceded him, whether it was Roberto Mancini or Manuel Pellegrini, they were all basically cheap substitutes and stand-ins for Pep. Pep was the man. And so when Pep came in, Pep knew that he's not going to have it any better in a club infrastructure than what he has in Manchester City.
Okay, yeah.
That's why he has stayed there for so long.
Yes. But
and I just can't wait till he fucks off.
Yes, but also because he didn't win a treble. He's won a treble everywhere else he's gone. He hadn't won it. That was his thing.
No, he has won trebles before.
No, but not in the Premier League.
His 2009 Barcelona
Not in the Premier League.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to tell you. He's won treble. He won everything at Bayern. He won everything at Barcelona.
He didn't win anything at Bayern. He didn't win everything at Bayern.
Barcelona. Doesn't matter. He was...
he didn't win the Champions League at Bayern.
Let's be honest. He got... The reason why he didn't stay at Bayern is because he probably got bored. And then, Man City brought him in with all the stuff that you're talking about that they did for him. But the Premier League is the Premier League of all the leagues. It's the toughest league.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to stay and see his mission through of winning a treble in the toughest league with one of the best squads ever. And he's accomplished that. So that's why he said, I'm going to see out my contract and I'm done. Don't be surprised if he now goes to Italy and tries to win with an Italian club.
What? Juventus?
Then he might go international. The dude wants to become the greatest ever. His ego, and he's admitted this. The interesting thing is
to be the greatest manager of
the
all
funny
time.
thing, yeah. But funnily, his ego is very humble. Like he's very egotistical, but he's very humble about how egotistical he is. If you see him in clips and stuff, that's what he wants to do. So he's accomplished what he wants to do at Man City. They'll still be. As long as he's there, he will try and win.
How much longer is his contract gone?
Till 2025.
Oh, fuck off.
So at least 1 or 2 more years. But yeah, he'll be around. But as long as he has Haaland and the players that he has, they'll be very good. Will they be as good when he leaves? I don't know. So it might not be for another 2 years. All I'm saying to you is that the club and the team that Arteta and Arsenal are putting together right now, with the players they have, so young. Again, most all their players, and particularly once they get rid of Xhaka and Partey, all their players are still under the age of 25. Even the new signings they're bringing on. 22-year-old Timber, 19-year-old Lavia, 24-year-old Havertz and Rice. In 2 years' time, they're still all only going to be 27 and 26 or younger. They're gonna be here.
So they're building an entire team to peak at the right time together.
Yeah, man. Dude, if we don't win something in 2 years, we definitely will be. I'm sorry, within these next 2 years, we definitely will be in the. I say within 2 to 3 years, we will win. It maybe next season, although I doubt it. I think in 2 to 3 years, a little more experience because now we're going to be playing Champions League football for the first time in such a long time. These players are now going to have to cope with playing a tough Premier League and then a tough Champions League. I don't see them being able to put it all together this next season. The season after that, I think they'll be able to hold it, maybe compete for the title, do kind of well in Champions League. Maybe we get lucky and win a domestic cup. But we may not win anything again. But if I just see the progression, I know. And this is the thing. This is the difference between like American football fans and English and other football fans. You all just expect to win like all the fucking time. Like, I'm an American football fan and a Chicago Bears fan. Like,
oh, that sucks.
You Packers man, you still don't know shit about shit. But we all like in American football, even when you win a championship, like with the LA Rams, which is also a Kroenke owned team.
Yeah, I know.
They won, and then the next year they were dog shit because you know how hard it is to win a championship in American football,
yes.
and then do it again the next season.
Is that
because then all those players get paid, and you have to keep. You can't. So they literally went from winning the Super Bowl to being dog shit, not even making the playoffs the next season. You have to go, and now the Rams are going to be in a rebuild. They're going to be at the bottom.
So how
now.
did the Patriots manage it?
They didn't. They were dog shit. Once Tom Brady left, they've been dog shit ever since.
When Tom Brady was there, because they were dominant for like a few.
They had Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
That's all you needed?
Yeah, that's all they needed. Those two, the GOAT and the GOAT.
So
the two GOATs of all time made it happen.
So for example, we're bringing it back to the Packers. The fact that they had Favre and then Rodgers right after go, and then Mike McCarthy and LaFleur. That was the only reason they were making the playoffs every year.
Yeah, they had Aaron Rodgers. The American football is different than football because if you, like I said, what I just say, the right coach and the right quarterback, and you'll be okay.
You'll be competitive every year.
In football, you can't just have one player. I mean, you could argue Messi or Ronaldo, but other than that, you need like a squad. That's why, and you need the right manager. That's why Chelsea hasn't worked out. That's why Tottenham still doesn't really work out. You have to have the right combination of everything. What I'm seeing Arsenal doing is like what I saw the Chicago Cubs do. They're building from their, and like what you just said about Manchester United, they're building from their academy. They've got a good core of English players, from the Arsenal academy. They're building around. They put the right pieces in place. They got a young manager and his first major start who's doing all these kooky stuff, like putting a light bulb in the room and being like, be the light. You know, it's like this is all the shit Joe Madden did with the Chicago Cubs when they won in 2016. Yeah, they took them 3-4 years. They built from the draft. They got really young, talented young players. They bought the right players, and they made a championship squad. That's what I think Arsenal's doing. And once they have those pieces, they'll be able to win the Premier League. Might be able to win the Premier League back to back like City has for some time with that group of players. Will it last forever? Probably not. But I think with that's what's going to happen at Arsenal. That's what's going to happen in the Champions League. And that's what I saw, at least from Arsenal this season. But we also saw Newcastle rise up really nicely.
Newcastle are the club that scare me the most.
I'm happy that they're up there, to be honest.
No.
They're a really great club that deserves.
Yes, they do.
Newcastle's like my second favorite club. I really like Newcastle.
Newcastle, honestly, the same with me. I remember when I was a kid, and the brilliant football that was played.
It's a great fan base.
It is. And
Nobody dislikes Newcastle fans.
Newcastle are the Chicago Bears of English football. Like, they've suffered for so long, and there are one club, City, that regularly sells out like a 55,000-seater stadium in the championship. That's how loyal those fans are.
Yeah, and they're lovely fans. Like, you read on Facebook and stuff, comments, whatever. Newcastle fans are like the most reasonable of everybody. They're like, oh yeah, we fucking sucked.
Yeah, no.
You know, I saw one Newcastle fan say some shit, and then other Newcastle fans were like, no, don't say that, son. That's not right. That's not right. We didn't play well. Fair played awesome for that game. We played like shite. We did. That was not a handball.
But that's
any other team, they'd be like, oh, fuck the refs.
Because Newcastle, because they're still getting used to being expected to be successful. Like for them,
That is like the Chicago Bears.
for them, the reaching the League Cup final when we beat them in the League Cup final this year, for them, like you could tell by the Newcastle fans on television, you could tell that they were not used to going to Wembley. But now they're in the. It does remind me of around of City from like 2008 to 2011 when they started kind of regularly getting to finals and being in the top 4, and they just were not used to it. And Newcastle, especially with the Saudi money that they have is like 5 times the amount of money that the City owners have. And bro, like, did you see who they signed?
They can't use all of it, but the point is.
But did you see who they signed today?
Yeah, the Italian guy.
Sandro Tonali from AC Milan.
Yeah,
like
signing.
Yeah, absolutely. And
which doesn't say much for Italian soccer that somebody from AC Milan's going to Newcastle.
But Newcastle are now in that stratosphere, bro.
Well, yeah, because they have the financial backing now, which they didn't before. Which is really
long term.
Also, let's be honest. The only reason why they are where they are. But
yes, but long term,
I'm happy for them. They deserve it.
They do. But long term, especially if the Qatari takeover of United happens, there's only 3 clubs who are going to be able to compete in England: City, United, and Newcastle. Arsenal will still be there. Arsenal, no, you won't.
We are an amazingly efficiently run club
right now.
That's why I'm so proud to be an Arsenal fan.
Do you really think you're going to be able to compete with all that money?
We just did, motherfucker.
For one season.
Actually, I can't. I got to cut that out. We just did. No. Look and see how. Let's look. Before you say anything, look and see. We were in the top 4, spending no money before. For 20 years, we made the Champions League under Wenger, and he had to pay nothing. Arsenal is one of the most efficiently run clubs. Fine, but still, we're an amazingly efficiently run club. They have an amazing scouting department that's doing very well. Will it last? If Edu leaves, if Arteta leaves, will it last? No. But for right now, they're doing the right things. They all want to be there.
For right now.
Yeah, nothing lasts forever, dude.
If you do not win something within the next couple of years, in my opinion, you have missed the golden opportunity.
No.
Because after that, you will not be able to keep up with Newcastle, United, and City.
No. That's why I'm telling you. Yes, dude. Yes, we will.
No, you won't.
I just described to you the young core group that they're putting together.
Yes,
will compete for
now,
8 years.
For this team, but I'm talking from like 5 to 10 years from now. You will not be able to compete.
We'll see.
Chelsea. Okay. The top 3 is going to be United, City, Newcastle.
We'll see, man.
And then after that, it's going to be.
We'll see.
It's going to be Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal.
You cannot.
Yes,
do that.
I can. I've seen this before. I've been watching football my whole life.
Dude, you can't.
Bro.
You can't. Football, you can't, dude. You can't say that.
Yes, I can.
Football is a tricky game. You can't say that.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand that more than anyone.
No.
But for right now, but the way that general trends are going, over the next 5 years, right, minimum, United, City, Newcastle are going to be the top 3, and it's going to be left. It's going to be left to Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs, and Arsenal.
Once Pep leaves, City's not going to be as good.
No, but they'll always have that backing, bro.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that they're automatically going to win.
Yes, it does, because the infrastructure. Yes, it does.
No,
the infrastructure that they have built up is going to last for years, for decades to come.
They will always be relevant in the conversation. They're not going to be a title contender all the time.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Look at Liverpool, too, man. They don't have the billionaire Saudi money, and they ran City to the ground. They just
actually, how much is it a joke? How much of a joke is it that Liverpool put themselves, the Fenway Sports Group, put Liverpool up for sale the same time the Glazers put the United up for sale? No one's interested in Liverpool.
Well, I don't have anything to say about that, because...
What does that tell you, Scousers? Huh? You're always second fiddle to us.
Right. All right. Calm down there. So, yeah, but it was a very interesting season. I think it was a lot of interesting things. I don't agree with you about your prediction, because football is a fickle game. Hell, the way things are trending, Saudi Arabia could become the next Super League.
I know. Yes, I wanted to say something about that tonight.
I mean, who knows, man?
Because the thing is, like, the Saudi money, bro. So not only have they basically taken over golf here, right? But like they're now poaching players, not just a 35 and up like Benzema, Ronaldo, but Ruben Neves, Koulibaly, N'Golo Kante.
No, and Conte's old.
Well, I mean, but he's still, in my opinion,
Most of the people they're getting are the 30-plus guys
yeah, but
who are not able to compete at the high level anymore.
but
and want to make a payday.
they still have like a decent 2 or 3 years left in Europe.
Koulibaly and Neves. I mean, come on, man. Where was Neves really gonna go? He's like remember the Brazilian guy who was on Chelsea, with not Pedro, the other guy, Oscar. Remember him? He went out there to just make a bag. The Hulk.
China.
The Hulk went out there. You know, some of these guys just decide to do that because that's probably a Neves. Neves is like, I played on Wolves. Nobody else looks like they really want me. I'm a decent player, but you know what?
I'm just gonna
go make a bunch of money. That's his choice. Every other person they're getting is like it's just like what they do in the MLS. They just get like some older guys who's like, I can probably still be better than everybody out on this field.
So you don't see the Saudi A-League becoming a thing?
Nah. But I do think they need to be careful because most of those guys used to go play for their childhood club like Buffon is doing now, or they go to the MLS because they don't want to be as known. They want to like chill out.
Yeah.
You know.
Wayne
Now
Rooney
people are
actually
going.
said that.
Now it's all of a sudden that Saudi just is investing all this money and buying everybody and giving ridiculous salaries. So here's the thing. Europe is still the prestige. All the young guys still want to make. This is where it was not going to just change overnight. This is where all the history and where you make your stardom occurs is in Europe.
Yeah.
And then once you hit 30 and you're a little old, you fucking fuck off to Saudi Arabia and make your millions. You make your real money.
Make a proper payday.
Just be very careful.
We'll talk
Wrap
about
your
that.
tool. Don't be a fool.
Talking about that biggest thing in the off season, Messi coming to MLS. What do you think? What do you think of that?
I think his wife did not want to live in Saudi Arabia. And I think they offered him a very lucrative package to be like, look, you're still going to make a lot of money here. And I don't know if you saw in the contract, because unlike Saudi Arabia, they're just like, here's a bunch of cash. They can't just like give a suitcase full of money.
Right.
So they had to be very clever. But Beckham was like, Messi, come on, you're not going to go to Saudi Arabia. You're in Miami, Come out here, let's party it up.
Yeah. Really break the American market.
Yeah. And so you're going to do so amazing for the American soccer. You can really have you stab yourself as a real GOAT like Pele did when he was here with the New York Cosmos.
Or like Beckham himself.
Yeah, or like Beckham himself. And so, we'll party in Miami all the time. You won't have to do very much. We'll bring your friends into play. So they're talking about the Busquets.
I was just about to say Busquets.
We'll bring your friends in.
Yeah.
And it's like your wife will enjoy being in Miami. Your kids will be here. We'll take care of you. And then if you look at the actual package they put together for him, he's like getting money from lots of different things. So it's all going to end up totaling up, or he's going to get hundreds of $millions, similar to like what Ronaldo's getting, just not all in one.
Which is
because the MLS can. Also, every MLS team is contributing to Messi going. By the way,
so he can build the brand of MLS.
That and just like just because they can again, so that they could just bring in Messi. Like think about like all of it. Like Miami, which is the worst team right now,
they're awful. They're
awful.
Really bad.
Messi automatically makes them mid-table, if not a contender for the title. But it benefits all of the MLS clubs. So Beckham just called all the other owners, and it's not just Beckham. I think LeBron. Other people are involved in that team.
Who? So LeBron is.
LeBron is in there with him also.
Into Miami.
Oh yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well, from his days at the Heat?
I think so.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he's got part ownership. I think he's part owner of several other teams, but nevertheless, but yeah, so it behooves everybody in MLS to have Messi there. So they all contributed money for him to be in there. But anyway, so that's very interesting. Yeah. But finishing up with the Premier League and what happened, very interesting season. Interesting what these folks were just talking about the relegation battle as well.
Oh, Everton! I
wanted them to go down because then only Arsenal would be the longest standing team that hasn't been relegated. Still the longest running, but
I kind of wanted Everton to go down because, in my experience, Everton have fucking skated with this so many times, and they always manage it. But they always manage on the last day to find some fucking way to stay up. And for once, and listen, I'm a Manchester United fan. Leeds hates us. I mean, we're kind of like, oh, okay, Leeds, you might as well be a rival, but like. I went to university in
Oh.
Leeds, and Leeds is a great city. It's a great college town, a university town, and I know how much Leeds United means to local Leeds people.
Right.
And I'll be honest. Yes, I know. I'm a Manchester United fan. Leeds United hates our guts. We're not particularly fond of them. But for someone who lived in Leeds for 5 or 6 years, I was a little sad that they got relegated.
I'm sure they'll make it
like,
again.
you know what I mean?
I'm sure they'll make it again.
Because Leeds United are they are a grand old club going back all to the days of Don Revie and Howard Wilkinson, and I was listen. They hate United. We're not one of them, but I was a little sad to see Leeds go down.
Yeah,
I
they're one of the
was.
clubs. Like when Newcastle went down, I was like, whoa, Newcastle going down. And
Yeah,
now Newcastle's back
they
where
represent.
like I feel they should. The
They-
way
They don't
the
just represent a city; they represent a region of
I mean,
West Yorkshire.
the only ones that I was a little miffed that I didn't think they were going to stay up was Bournemouth. I thought they were definitely going down. I'm actually okay with Leicester City going down.
Oh fuck
you
me!
know,
What a story that was.
One hell of a situation. Also, are they really a big club? I mean, not really.
No, but like, okay, so Leicester City, you find this all the time in the Premier League of clubs that are not the size of the grand old clubs of United, Liverpool, Arsenal, or the super duper, new money clubs like Chelsea, Newcastle, and City. But they're the clubs who are so well run that they punch above their weight. So, for, like Leicester winning the Premier League in 2016 was, I think, the biggest achievement in the history of English football.
It was amazing.
It really
that was another season Arsenal bottled winning that league.
Well, Spurs too, and City, but no one. But it was just the fact that they won it was like I said, the biggest achievement in English football. But
no, I think the invincible season of Arsenal is still
fuck off, no.
That's definitely the biggest.
I listen, okay.
Leicester City just winning a league is bigger than the only team to ever not lose a game.
Justin, you're wrong.
Are you out of your
I'm
mind?
not out of my mind.
You are off your rocker.
I know. Leicester City, for the status they have and the money they have, being able to win a Premier League title, yes. That was the biggest achievement in the history of English football. I will stand by that. Okay? But going back to my original
wild statement you just made.
Going back to my original point.
I'd make it number 2 under the Invincibles.
But going back to my original point, you always find some clubs who punch a little bit above their weight because they're so well run. Leicester City, Southampton before they collapsed this year. But at some point, those clubs try to stretch that a bit further than they actually can, if you understand me. And it all collapses. And that's what happened to Leicester City and Southampton this year. You know?
How about
Bolton Wanderers, another club in that mold.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see. One of my favorite things that I'm excited to see is Luton Town. With their tiny ass.
But apparently they're
oh my god! Hilarious.
The fact that their away stand is built within the tenement housing.
Yeah. That's gonna be awesome.
Everyone is looking forward to going to Kenilworth Road.
That is hilarious.
But apparently the Premier there might be a bit of a stickler with the Premier League at the moment because the Premier League are being like, no, son, like you need to.
Yeah, they need to play somewhere else. No, they're doing $10 million upgrades.
Really?
They have to. Otherwise, they have to play somewhere else. Yeah, stadium's not up to
but
snuff.
Why? Because sometimes it's just
Because it looks like you could contract syphilis from the seats. People are going to need tetanus shots as they exit the stadium from sitting in that stadium.
Yeah, but
That's how bad it is.
Sometimes there's those old stadiums that you can tell have just not changed at all from the Victorian era. Like Craven Cottage is
It
like
needs
that.
an upgrade, dude.
The Kenilworth Road.
Put in some modern bathrooms.
But there is something really wonderful about seeing these 600 grand a week Premier League footballers having to play on the fucking local park of the man and his dog.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That
is something.
It is pretty spectacular.
That is an element of why I love watching the real football versus American football, because American football is all in the massive stadiums and stuff like that. That's why I'm sad that the Bears might leave Soldier Field, and that's why everybody's sad when they put the dome, because really only Lambeau Field, your stupid Packers, are the only stadium left that's kind of like that old school stadium that's still original. With some
when I went,
Soldier Field was like the last bastion of like the old style kind of stadiums, and then they put a stupid what looked like a spaceship on top of it, and now the Bears are going to start.
It was a truly
football. You get these cool stories like the Luton Town, and that's what I think is so cool about it. But put in some modern bathrooms.
What, not just a potty? Or
not a metal trough or a hole in the ground like it might be there.
Or having the local council estate like charge you to use their toilet when you're coming out of the way you stand.
Exactly.
I like that. It's character.
Yeah,
I love that in some of these old English stadiums.
Yeah. Okay. How about last major thing? Or there are a couple other interesting stories from this season beyond the title race and the relegation race. Aston Villa had an amazing resurgence in their season, getting rid of Gerrard, then bringing in
a proper manager,
bringing in the vampire Unai Emery.
What I think this says is that, no matter how much the English press tries to cover for them, Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard, whilst they are great players, are not great managers.
Well, Steven Gerrard did win stuff with Rangers. Consistently, but he was not able to translate it into the Premier League.
But you're setting yourself
he went
up
to Villa.
Liverpool. You're setting yourself up for failure by going to a club
he's the
like
next
Aston
Liverpool
Villa.
manager.
Not now.
No, not now.
Not now.
But once Klopp leaves.
No, not even when Klopp leaves.
Yeah.
See, the best.
No, I guarantee you'll
listen, Stevie G, right? I'm a Manchester United fan.
Oh, God.
Man United fan. Great player. I hate you and your club, but your best career path would have been to stay at Rangers until Klopp leaves and win a couple more Scottish Premier League titles and try to win a European trophy with Rangers. If he had done that, well in for the Liverpool job. Now, Aston Villa is a club, right? It's kind of bordering between a middle-sized club and a grand old club in England, because people forget they have actually won a Champions League, European Cup, and old money in 1982, right? They are in the second biggest city in the country, Birmingham. Honestly, if I was the richest man in the world, Newcastle's already been taken over, City has, and outside of the grand old clubs of course, I tried to buy United, Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal. Aston Villa and Leeds are the last remaining clubs where if you're the richest man in the world, with a little bit of fine-tuning investment, you can have a real club on your hands. Aston Villa are a big club.
What about West Ham though? Because look what West Ham did. David Moyes winning his first European championship.
Good for him.
I mean, it's a bullshit championship, but
yeah, it's a Mickey Mouse Cup, but good.
It also
for
is now
him.
Costing Arsenal another $20 million because Declan Rice won something. But I mean, I'm very happy for them.
I'm good. I'm
very happy for them. It was good for their fans.
And whilst
a bunch of assholes, but
whilst I don't think he should have been a Manchester United manager,
I can't believe he survived the season.
I can see why in 2013. Ferguson thought of him in the mold of a United manager, because people forget he really did an amazing job at Everton. He really did. To keep that club competitive in the top four of that time, Mourinho's Chelsea, Rafa's Liverpool, Ferguson and United, Wenger still at on. Like, people forget, for a while there was only ever 4 clubs in England that counted for shit: United, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool. And Moyes was always punching above his weight, finishing about 5th or 6th, got to a couple of cup finals. And when he got to United, I really think that he felt that he would have 6 years to rebuild everything. But it all went fucking Pete Tong. And I felt bad for him because I wish for him as a man, it would have worked at United, but he was clearly not good enough.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy that after all of his years in football, he finally won a trophy.
Yeah. No, I'm very happy for him. It was. I watched that game. It was a good game.
Before we finish, though,
but it's a tale of 2 stories. Amazing in Europe, terrible in the league. Almost got relegated.
I know, but if you're a West Ham fan, and fuck me, I can't off the top of my head. I think the last time West Ham won a trophy was when fucking Bobby Moore was their captain in the 60s.
Yeah, that sounds right.
If you're a West Ham fan, why the fuck do you care about how... Like, you won a trophy, mate. You won a trophy.
It was a great season.
Yes, of course. I mean, who gives a shit whether you finished...
You stayed in the Premier League and you won a trophy.
Barely, but you won a trophy for the first time in, like, what, 50 or 60 years? Like, they're really going to care.
People have said that they had a better season than Arsenal.
Well, they did win something.
They did win something.
At least they didn't bottle it.
I mean, what is this new tournament? They just came out with another European tournament. It's just for money. It's a bunch of bunk, but whatever.
Well, I mean, they used to have the European
Cup more money filtered into football. More
well,
games.
I mean, UEFA used to have a third trophy back in the day in old money called the Cup Winners' Cup, where the domestic cup winners would play in it, and it was all right. I mean, Chelsea won it in like '97 before they got taken over by Abramovich. But I don't think UEFA or the players really need another fucking trophy. But for me, before we finish, biggest story in European football this year, and we did a short on it, without a doubt, was Napoli winning the Scudetto for the first time since Maradona in 1990. That was huge.
Oh, great club.
Huge.
They had an amazing... They would have been the champions of Europe. It was just on points.
Yeah.
They're amazing. I mean, they ran away with that.
And honestly...
And good for them.
And honestly... they
are fun to watch.
They really are. And Napoli... They're just... It's... Because it's not just that they represent a city, they represent the entire southern half of Italy that has always been shat on and looked down upon by the northern powerhouses, because all the money and all the government and everything is in northern Italy, and Napoli are the one big club in the south. And the fact that they managed to do it, against the powerhouses of the Milan clubs and Juventus.
But are they powerhouses anymore? I mean, I know Inter made the Champions League final, but that's only because of the seeding.
Yeah.
I mean, any other team probably would have dismantled them.
In this,
they did play a good game, though. It's unfortunate.
This season, no, but in terms of name and tradition, definitely.
Yeah, true. I went there. I showed you when I went to the San Siro.
Yeah. Oh,
it was pretty great.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, in your face.
The San Siro. The San Siro is a must on any football fan stadium.
It was a pretty cool stadium.
Absolutely. AC
cool.
and Inter under one roof. Fuck me.
Yeah.
The players. See, when I was growing up, we in the 90s and the early 2000s, the Serie A was to world football what the Premier League is now. It was the pinnacle, the top league in the world. And so used to get up every morning on Channel 4 and in the show was Gazzetta Football Italia by James Richardson, and I loved it. I loved it because it was just like Golazzo, da 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 da. Fuck yeah! And I loved Italian football from that day forward.
Nice. Well, all right. Well, to wrap up this season review and commentary, let's finish with some predictions for next season.
Okay.
Let's start with the Premier League. We'll
Okay.
just do Premier League and then we'll do Champions League.
Okay.
Premier League. Who do you have in the top 4?
Top 4. Okay. Fourth. Fourth, Arsenal.
Oh my god! I'm such a bastard. God. Oh my god.
Okay. Either Arsenal or Liverpool.
Oh Lord. Have mercy.
The top 4. Okay, so the top 4 is going to be fought between Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea. Third, United.
Oh,
We could possibly compete for a title if the takeover is done.
Are you going to say
time.
Newcastle City right now?
Yes.
Oh my god, you're such a
Yes,
trollbag.
the top 2 is going to be Newcastle against City.
Lord have mercy.
Yes.
Not even close.
Yes.
Oh god.
Absolutely.
Lord have mercy. That is just disgusting. You said everything you said is disgusting.
How about yourself? What are you thinking?
Oh man,
What are you
man,
thinking?
that's just you've made me sick. I think City probably wins it again.
Yeah.
Just because they
Fuck
still have
off.
Haaland. You seen these videos of the guy who looks like Haaland and he just runs around? Like Haaland does?
No, I don't.
I just love the song. It's like Haaland.
I hate that bastard. I hate
As long
him.
as they have Haaland and that squad of players and Pep is there, I mean, you always have to
you
consider they're
can't.
going to win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
But,
Holland is basically fucking Thor in a fucking.
I honestly
boots.
don't think the top 4 that is here or the top 4 from this season changes. The only
Yeah.
thing that I can see differently, I hate to say this to you, buddy, but the only one who I could see dropping out of the top 4 this next season is you guys.
As of right now, I would
The only team I can see really displacing you would potentially be
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
That's all I see. Chelsea, I think, is going to take. Like I said, I don't think they're going to be really good. I could be wrong. Maybe Pochettino figures it out really, really fast, but they still got too many problems, too many moving pieces.
Too many number 10s.
Too many wingers. They could field an entire team of wingers.
I know. Yeah.
Down to the
why?
goalkeeper, they could play winger.
Why?
I mean, it's ridiculous. Now they are offloading tons of people, but that's a huge. They've got such a huge culture problem, and Bowley has got to give them. He's got to give Pochettino time.
Well, have you heard the rumors about Bowley?
What?
I noticed that it's really Saudi money backing him.
Oh yeah. Because he's doing a lot of deals with Saudi and everything.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't be. That's not surprising.
Wouldn't be the biggest shock in the world, would it?
No. But I mean, it doesn't. But this is what I mean. Look how much money they spend, and it did fuck all. Because you need the right manager, you need the right culture, you need the right players all synced together. You guys don't have it yet. You're getting there, but you guys don't have it yet. You're not, in my opinion, you're still a year off from maybe getting there. Ten Hag still needs to get the right players in. And first of all, striker, you don't have one. You're lucky that Marcus Rashford gave you 20-something plus goals. Otherwise, you guys would have been dog trash the whole season. He just like Haaland scored and Kane scored most goals for those respective clubs. Rashford saved your season scoring as many goals as he did. Otherwise, none of your other players were able to score at all. You're lucky you had De Gea and your defense with Martinez and Varane did pretty well. Otherwise, you guys were, and that he never played Harry Maguire. If he had played Harry Maguire, you guys would definitely.
Harry Maguire!
Harry Maguire! I love how he still wants to stay. It's like, dude,
Yes,
they're literally offering him to people.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, do you guys want
for
Maguire?
half price, and
Yeah.
they still won't take
Nobody
him.
wants the guy. I mean, what a fall from grace. Anyway, but
I know. It's
I think Ten Hag is on the right path. But like I told you before, he's doing basically what Arteta had to do at Arsenal. It's going to take some time, but I think United are going to give him the time because he's done good progression, and he did basically what Arteta did. He won a stupid domestic. I mean, we won an FA Cup. You just won an EPL League Carabao Cup,
Yeah.
but he won a domestic cup. He's getting the team playing football in a way that it's getting the fan base back together. This is what Arteta did for Arsenal. And Arsenal is way farther in there. According to Arteta, we're now entering phase 4 of his phase 5 plan.
The only thing that worries me about United is the state of the takeover And
all that's gonna contribute, man.
If it
And you're
drags,
playing Champions League football again, also.
if it drags on, I'm nervous that Ten Hag is going to get so pissed off that he'll leave.
Any of these
'Cause at
things,
some
that's what I'm telling
point,
you, man. Any
like-
of these things are possible, and then you guys are back to square one. As we said, Tottenham is a burning ship about to explode that's already on fire. Chelsea's got too many problems. It's going to take at least 6 months, maybe a year, for Pochettino to even figure out who his starting 11 is going to bloody be. I just don't see Chelsea really competing. Liverpool will be Liverpool. If they don't have as many injuries, maybe they actually pull it out. But I really see City and Arsenal duking it out. Maybe Newcastle improves slightly. But, dude, Newcastle, despite all their money, doesn't have a squad that, like, strikes fear into me. They were very good this season. They will probably be a little bit better. But I'm not looking at their squad and being like, ooh. Like, when City come to town, I'm like, ooh. City was the only team where I was like, I don't think we're going to hold possession for the whole game.
Yeah.
Every other team, I was like, it might be like when we played you guys or like even Newcastle, they were a little better. I was like, it's going to be a tough game, but I still feel confident Arsenal, the way we're playing, is going to pull it off. And I don't see Arsenal changing how they're going to play and how dominant they're going to be based on the style of football and having the same group of players and only getting better players coming in. So, that's just my prediction. That's why I think the top four is going to stay the same. The only one I could see is Liverpool sneaking in. Also, here's the thing. Newcastle haven't played Champions League football in a very long time. Do they really have the squad depth to
Not
also,
really.
honestly, I swear to God to you, I mean, that is the potential issue, but that's why I like the signings Arsenal's making. We now have that depth, I think, that Manchester City's going to have, where you slot in any person into the system and it's going to work now with who they're buying. That's why I think Arsenal will survive only. But Newcastle and you guys, I don't know if Liverpool's the only other team I could see potentially displacing one of those two teams, honestly. I think Newcastle and you guys are still a year or two away from being like super
Where we
consistent,
want to be.
where you can play Champions League and that. I think Arsenal are, with the right signings this year, going to be there to survive. I don't think we can compete with City to win a title and win something else. That's my prediction. Then you just then you have to play the game.
and that's where it
And that's where it is, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Well, thanks for going on this journey with us as we reviewed our stupid thoughts about
the game we love. About the game we love.
We hope that you also share our love of the game and enjoy this conversation. But now we really want to know what you think. Am I a stupid Arsenal fan that bottled this entire conversation? Wouldn't be surprised.
Am I a delusional Manchester United fan? As I'm sure all of you were. As I'm sure most of you think. But that City treble, it still has an asterisk.
Well, you definitely are a delusional.
You will not convince me otherwise.
Are all United fans the worst? I say yes.
We're Man United. We do what we want.
Yeah, you wankers. So let us know what you think and what your predictions are. Who's going top four? Who's winning? Last one. Champions League prediction winner for next season. Who do you think wins?
Oh, Champions League. Fuck me.
Just pick a team.
I really wouldn't be surprised to see City go back to back.
No, it's not going to be City. I think if Real pull off a striker, it's Real. I think Real do it. That's what I think. So
I hope you're right.
Yeah, I think it's
I hope
probably
you're right.
Real. Barca could also be in that conversation, but I think it's Real. So anyway, those are predictions. That's what we think. Let us know what you think, and we will see you next time, because these are the fun times that we're talking about here on Men of the Times. And we'll see you all next time.